Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Sorry I'm running late. I was making a video on the new Goldman, or not the new fund, but I was making a video on the Goldman Sachs fund GPIX and GPIQ. All right. Anyway, I got on the wrong. Let me put this link in Discord in case anyone's there. Hopefully, you guys will come join us. That's the wrong link. Anyway, whatever. They'll figure it out. I started. And then let's also really quick. Oh gosh, there's no really quick way to do this. There should be a really quick way to do this. I'm trying to get everyone here and everything posted. All right. Well, hopefully people will show up. All right. Let's because I had to switch this at the last second. I was doing something else and something got jacked up. Oh yeah, I was making that video and I was trying to get done, but I just didn't quite get done. All right, the market's going to close here in a few minutes. The market didn't melt up into the close. We're still trading at 566. Just grinding into the close. That's fine. It's whatever. We have 555 through 560 for a dip buy, and then lower ones down here at 540 and lower. And then also we have the 200 period moving average at 570, which is only 3 points away from where the SPY closed, so less than 1%. So maybe we'll challenge the 200 day on. Maybe we'll challenge it on Monday. Here's Bitcoin. I remember when forever it was stuck at 84 and 86, and I kept looking up here at this trading range at 95, and I kept saying someday we'll be up there. Now we're up there. Now if we go back to it, it's like we did the other day. It's probably a good dip buy. We'll go to the next trading range, which we're trying to make up here at 96, I guess. But then occasionally we might pop back a trading range or two just to get some stops. Great, and they end up being a great dip buy. NASDAQ up 1.6% today. Here's NASDAQ futures. That's a 30-minute chart, but it's a great looking chart. It's been a long time. I mean, this reverse is pretty much all. We pretty much reversed the damage. Let's look at the SPY chart. We've gone back to before Liberation Day. This orange box right here, the higher orange box, is Liberation Day. As long as we stay over it, it means the market is forgiven Trump for whatever happened that day, for that crazy chart or whatever. As long as we're over it, it means the market's like, hey, that's in our rearview mirror. Now, that's not the only thing that moves the market, but I mean, that is a big thing the market's been looking at. I mean, that is a big thing. All right, let's see how the option trades worked out this week. We'll look at Alti and everything here in a second. We have a lot of trades expiring. 0 hours, 0 hours. Let's see. Well, look at all these 0 hours. It looks like there's a lot of green, but it's just all on paper. It's easy to make green on paper, right? Paper's easy, but I was trying to illustrate concepts with lots of these. I did do Starbucks, PayPal, SoFi, and the hedge in real life. So anyway, Starbucks worked out nice, $146. PayPal worked out. Why is it only 82? That doesn't seem like enough. Let's see what's going on. Oh no, that's enough. That was its It only earned a $71 yield. Basically, it's earning all its yield. All right, Starbucks, PayPal, SoFi winners. The ones on here that are red are losers. Diagonal put spreads. That's a loser. Loser. Here's a pairs trade with Amazon. That's an Amazon hedge trade. That's a loser. The only losers were hedge trades. And then right now, IBIT's behind. And these don't expire till next week. We have IBIT and this protective put for next week. I'm telling you, this thing's going to come in handy some days. Someday you guys are going to wish that you bought 10 of these. It's only $200 a contract. Let's look at something here. Imagine if you would have done this before the market would have dropped, because I love showing this example. It's not just about price. Yes, the 2 standard deviation price is 530, 520. It's not just about price. You're also playing for a volatility pop should we go there. And that's why it's a calendar. It's long volatility, unlike a lot of spreads, which are short volatility. So anyway, if we do a 3 standard deviation drop in a week, it's gonna come with high volatility. No guarantees. That's my bet. Not just a little bit, like a lot. So we'll pump volatility up about 50%, and then look down here at 520 or 510. The move is just half the equation. That's $20,000. Now, of course, it costs $2,000 to do that. You'd have to have a big account, but if you had a lot to protect, and if you got your timing right, if you did this the week, the week right before that it crashed. So anyway, those are handy little trades. We talk about them all the time in Discord and other stuff. Join us in Discord if you haven't. All right, well, let's look at GPTY and I guess see how everything finished up. Looks like the day's over in 3 minutes. I really like this new chart. Just kind of conglomerates everything. I guess I wish I could put this down here so it was on the left side, but yeah, this is everything I need to know. What I did, what SPY did, what Bond did, what 60/40 did, and then, yeah, all I want to do is flip-flop the sides. That's not too hard. Then I can see what everything contributed, how each of my individual components or allocations is doing. Boy, ULTY killed it for me today. Thank you, ULTY. It made me 50 cents. Frickin' GPTY made me 50 cents. And look at that. My hedge didn't even hardly cost me any money. Hey, it cost me 20 cents. Okay, 18 cents, whatever. Heck, Y-SPY made 4 cents. And then my other hedge cost me, TLTW's a hedge also cost me a little bit of money. And GDXY is probably basically a hedge, and it costs a little bit of money too. But anyway, it's the kind of day my bullish stuff does well. So on this kind of day, I'm just hoping that my hedge doesn't slow me down too much. And that's why I have these two bars. I can see my buffer. I can see my, this and that. This is how much I'd be if I was totally passive just in the SPY. This is how much I am because I manage and because I'm trying to make my portfolio have some type of risk parity or whatever, like we were talking about earlier. I'm trying to maximize my portfolio for less volatility, for one thing. So, all right. So that's the model portfolio. Now let's look maybe at the GPTY verse. GPTY verse. All right, we'll just start on the index buffer since we landed on this. Man, every day it's this, or every time I've gone on it, SFAL is up 5%, just murdering it. Killing it, SFAL. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'll get in the middle of that this weekend. I think I tried to, between the last two shows, I tried to I've tried to find the Somehow I got sidetracked. I am trying to find the latest holdings and the latest perspectives. All right, everything else, let's see how it's doing. XDT killing it, outperforming the index. That's great. That's the best one of the day on the SPY side. We'll also give it up to iSpy and XDT are the two winners there. But you also got to give it up to ZVol. ZVol actually did every bit as well as those. And of course, SVol is just killing it. Then over here in NASDAQ land, we have GPTY. I'm calling that basically NASDAQ. It's tech. Then we have LFGY up 2%. Look at all these beating the parents. Triple QT beat the parent today. That's great to see, up 1.8% out of a covered call fund. That's amazing. We'll go down here to Russell Land. In Russell Land, everything looks good. It's more, you can't really find anything that looks bad. USOI is down a little bit. Anyway, that is really nice to see. Probably going to have a pullback pretty soon, though. Gosh darn it. All right, what else do you guys want to talk about? If there's anything you guys want to talk about, we can. I don't even know if anyone's in here. Yeah, we got 2 people in here. So no, not really. And it's because I switched at the last second. And that's fine. It's Friday. People have stuff going on. I just wanted to come on and come on the close and look at all those trades. It was a good week for earnings trades. They all made money. It's not because I picked them well. It's just because the market went up. I mean, I pick decent, but I do the same thing every time. So anyway, it's a great week for earnings talks. Great week for everything. All right, on this, let's look over here at the GPTY verse. Let's look at their components. Wow. Clean sweep. Look at that. Riots up nearly 8%. Just absolutely murdering it. GPTY, all we have. Apple's the only problem child today. That's just awesome. Chippyverse doesn't even have a problem child. They're all killing it. All right, let's look at Alti, in case Ethan's in here. Grateful Trader. Okay, well, ULTY, I mean, it's hanging in there. I'd really like to see it take back its 50-period moving average. And it's been over it before, or about the best it can do is be at it. But it's approaching it now. It's just a matter of it needing a bullish enough market. Maybe that's why no one's here. Maybe it's because this isn't running right. But I don't know. I think it's because I switched locations at the last minute. Hey, Mark. Mark found it. So, but there was only 2 people a second ago. Now there's 5 people. All right. Well, sorry about the last minute switcheroo, Mark. Anyway, okay. So what was I talking about? ULTY. We were looking at ULTY in case Ethan's in here. There's only 2 people, so the odds of him being in here weren't very good. Now there's 5 people. It's at least possible. Look at ULTY's assets under management coming back up. They got us down as low as 196. We're back up to 220. That's good to see. That is good to see. Biggest holdings PLTR, and it was up 6%. And, and it makes up 6% of the portfolio. So it made us 36 basis points. MicroStrategies was up, call it 3%, and it's 6% of our portfolio. So it made us 18 basis points, or 18 cents, as I call it. Tesla, meaning cents on a dollar, meaning percent, same thing. God, we got a lot of planes. There's a lot of cloud cover today, and the planes are just flying by. That one is super low. What in the heck is that one? I'm going to see how low that is. That one's right over. Jiminy Criminy. Southwest, or I'm sorry, it's from Detroit. It's Delta from Detroit. And it was 3,100 feet, but that's lower than they usually come over. I'm about 10 or 15 miles from the airport. The ceiling's real low. I think they're trying to get the planes in low so they can see today below the clouds. Okay. But anyway, ULTY looks good. Let's look at DIVO. We never really look at DIVO, and it was on the max factor, and it's perennially kind of on the max factor. It's kind of a sneaky good one. And when I say sneaky, the reason it's sneaky is because it only pays a 4.8% dividend. That's why it's sneaky. No one ever talks about it. And now I remember why, because every time I look it up, I think, okay, this thing has great NAV return. Well, that's the reason why. 4.8% dividend. Not that it's not it's a great fund. I mean, if you need 4.8%, it probably is one of the best ones out there. It has $4 billion under management. It's doing something right. It's doing something right, and it took it on the chin, and it's not hedged at all. Look, it went from 43 to 36. What is that? That's a lot of, I'm trying to think on a percentage basis, but it had a pretty big pullback, but it's bounced back fast also. I know a lot of people like Devo. It just depends on your income needs. I'm recording a video right now that I have paused in another window. And, I can even see when the next plane's going to come over. So I can be able to tell you, okay, we have one coming over from San Jose here in a second. Give it about 15 seconds. All right. What was I? Now I forgot what I was talking about because I got myself sidetracked on planes. Oh yeah, I was making a really good video that I have paused in another tab, and I was reacting to a video from Victoria, and she's talking about Goldman Sachs GPIQ and what a great fund it is and everything. And it is a good fund, but I'm making a little bit of a rebuttal video to it right now. And I'm having a good time. We're looking at I can even show you. I have a sneak peek of it if you want. So see this right here, this back tester. This right here is simulating a person that has a $500,000 retirement but needs $60,000 a year in retirement and doesn't want to sell stock. They want to try to generate. There it is. I told you about the American. They want to try to generate that amount of money. Here's Jax. Let me put him on his leash. Jax, come here. Jax, come here. But I'm doing a live stream. But Jackson, you got to go on your leash right now, so I know you won't run off. Thank you, Jackson. We got Jax on his leash. But so this is an allocation a person could use. The $500,000. This goes back a year ago and says if they would have done it, and there's 3 portfolios. One portfolio uses the Goldman Sachs method, GPIQ. The other ones use Round Hill and Defiance. Portfolios 2 and 3 use Round Hill and Defiance. Well, it's skipping a little bit of ahead to the end of the video, but what people miss is even if you put 100% that Goldman Sachs fund, GPIQ, GPIX, it doesn't matter. Even if you put 100% of that fund in a $500,000 account, it only generates $40,000 a year income. So you have tougher choices. It's true at when you have lower retirement savings, you're going to have some tougher choices. But the Goldman is, unless you want to put 100, and it still leaves you short on being able to take care of yourself. And I was just showing by comparisons, a person with $500,000 saved up for retirement, they could come here with Round Hill. I looked at Round Hill and I looked at Defiance. Okay. So with Round Hill, they would need 37% of that money to finance the retirement. At least they would have last year. That can change. And I have it to rebalance every quarter, and the rebalancing is factored in. But they would need to put 37% in QDT to live, and that would leave them 63% for SPY or growth or whatever. You could put it in bonds, you put it in real estate, it's whatever, but it leaves you with extra money for retirement. And portfolio 3, of course, is Defiance. It's the highest paying of any of them, but you still, with the $500,000 portfolio, you still need 22% in retirement to get your $60,000 a year income. Here comes the other one. That's United from LA. And that's what influencers miss. Yes, if you were going to buy GPIQ and it was the only fund you were going to buy, yes, it's going to perform better than Round Hill or Defiance. But it's not. That's silly. That's not how it works. In real life, any fund, but you're never going to buy one fund. It's going to be all you hold. Any fund you have, especially an income fund, at least for me anyway, Taught Your Own Planner, is going to be part of a bigger solution. And that's all we talk about is income on the station. So one of my rules is, and I think it's a good one, is no more. Gosh darn it. Hey, watch out. Somebody. Yeah. Hang on. I got to hold the dogs because the dogs go crazy. Anyway, we're just going to be crazy around here for just a second. All right. I got him. Anyway, get him. Aspen. No. You guys be good. Hey. All right, guys. Sorry. Got crazy around here real quick. All right. Here. Jackson, I'm on a live stream, buddy. Come on. I'm on a live stream. Jackson doesn't respect the live stream. Anyway. Jackson, come here. All right. So what I was saying is, yes, if in a isolated environment, of course, Goldman Sachs, or if you're going to follow the 4% rule, which a lot of people do. So in this example, with the $500,000 account times 4%, that means you have $20,000 a year to live off of. Well, I don't know anyone that's going to live off of $20,000 a year. So that's why I was saying at the lower levels, when the $500,000, when you get to like the $500,000 account, they're going to want to try to draw more like 50 to 75,000. When you use those numbers and put it in, the bigger, safer funds don't work. So what you can do is like any other investment, you can step out on the risk curve. When you step out on the risk curve, yeah, you have a little bit more risk. But the thing that the other influencers miss is because these funds are so much more efficient at gathering income, you can use less of them, so it's kind of a bad news, good news. Yeah, these funds aren't that good, but you don't have to use that much of them. Or yeah, these funds have issues, but they're also so powerful, you don't need to use that much of them. So anyway, and then actually when you compare it in an apples to apples comparison, the Round Hill performs best, Defiance was second, and Goldman Sachs was third in my test at the lower levels when you're trying to withdraw 10%. Now, if you have a $2 million portfolio, you have the 4% rule. That's $80,000 a year. That 4% rule could work for you. Then yes, and that's in that scenario, the Goldman is the best for sure. So like I say, the more money you have, the better Goldman Sachs is. And that would make sense because their average customer base has more money probably than the average customer base for maybe Round Hill or Defiance. I'm just guessing. But that's the video I was working on this afternoon, right before I got on here. Hey, Mark, thanks for being here. Okay, good. I was just making sure. I didn't know. I thought maybe he was checking or something. So Collector's Dream, what, you sold your Devo and bought Spy Eye when the market dipped a couple of weeks ago? Sweet. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Devo, but 4.89%. I mean, really, I'll tell you what, if I just needed that kind of money or if I was looking for that type of return, I would get, and I'm surprised Victoria didn't cover this in her video. It's actually a very good video. QYLG. And stupidly so, evidently. Devo's spanking it. Anyway, QYLG, they just sell covered calls on half the portfolio, so they get a ton of upside. But the problem is they don't get a lot of buffer. They just get a half buffer, of course. So go figure. But I was saying, but as far as income goes, it's a fair comparison to compare QYLD to Devo because they both pay around the same smaller amount of money. But anyway, good. I'm glad you like. I'm glad you got Spy Eye. So you have 420 and safe. Yeah. All right. Let's see what Mark has here. 240 and PLTY. Okay. That's okay. PLTY has generated 17 grand distributions plus 7,200 covered call income. I might suggest to Victoria to put 80,000 in. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So I could have done a jillion scenarios on the Victoria thing. Like I say, and it was probably her best video she's ever done. And it's fine that she doesn't realize it. I'm just saying because she has a higher income level and probably most of her viewers do and stuff. And that's fine. At the lower levels, the math doesn't work. Especially if you're somebody like me who's trying to also leave something for your heirs. That's not important to a lot of people, but it is to me. So, but it's whatever. Anyway, Mark, I appreciate you being here. Had a good week. Let's get out the weekly bar chart. See how the weekly candle is. That was a scary monthly candle we had. All right, so there's the daily candles. Man, that's look at all these. We have 5 bullish areas now and only 4 bearish areas. For a while, it was like 8 bearish areas and one by the dip zone. Now let's look. So with the daily, that's impressive. Now let's look at the weekly, maybe even the monthly. All right, so here we have the weekly candles. Are they all green? I think that's something jacked up. It's because of this moving average app. All right. I mean, the clue was, and I didn't take the trouble. I mean, the clue is the week before this, we had a week that bullishly engulfed the week before. That's a huge, clue that the market wants to go higher. And it did go higher. So we'll see. But like I say, my strategy now is to be expecting a dip. We're close to the 200-day. We're basically there. So maybe goes over it a little bit and then tries to trap people. I just don't see it going straight back all the way up. If it does, it beats me. That'll, that's, you have to decide where you're wrong, or that's what I'm playing against. I don't think that's going to happen. It could, but I bet we go the 200 and either trap and fall back down, or at least retrace. We should at least retrace some of this face ripper. At least get one of these open gaps. What do you guys see? I'll read if somebody wants to put what you guys think, that's fine. I'll read it. But that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Now I need to get this Victoria video made. I've been trying to make it a jillion times. It's just not working out. I summarized the whole video for you guys, but yeah. I mean, Goldman works if you're rich enough. I don't think that's unfair. Even if you don't care about leaving money to your family, even if that's not a concern and you don't mind about selling stock, even if that stuff's all right, that Goldman still doesn't give you enough money to live off of at the smaller levels, at the 100,000. I hope I'm not being unfair, because that is a great fund. I've always said if I had to put all my money in any one fund, it would be JEPQ. But now after the Victoria video and maybe GPIQ, but one of those funds would be great if somebody stuck a gun to your head and made you put all your money in one fund. But that's not the way it works. When it comes to allocating, I'm going to use a different allocation. I'm going to use a fund that's a lot stronger than that, so I can use less of it. And we make an apples to apples comparison. And really, like I say, in the apples to apples comparison, a lot of the stuff that I'm not really ragging on this video that Victoria made this time. This video was complimentary of GPIQ, and I would agree with her. GPIQ is a great video. I mean, a great ETF. But in the past, she's made other videos that were kind of not so complimentary about the higher paying ones. And I'm just saying, I don't think that a lot of influencers understand it. The reason it's higher paying, I even made a handy dandy infographic. You want to see my infographic? You guys like that? Okay. So in the left column, we have these are strategies that you could do in options or covered calls. The left column, we have income enhancers. In the right column, we have, we're trying to make this bigger. We have NAV enhancers. So if you're selling options and you're selling at the money, that's an income enhancer. If you're selling out of the money, which is what a lot of people prefer because it gets more NAV, it's a NAV enhancer. Okay. If you're selling for the full amount of the underlying you have, selling 100% of the options you can against the underlying you have, that's an income enhancer. If you're doing it, if you're selling less than 100%, like selling half the portfolio, that's a NAV enhancer. If you pay the whole thing out, like Yieldmax and Defiance do, that's an income enhancer. If you hold some of the distribution back, like QILD and Goldman Sachs and some of the other funds do, that's a NAV enhancer. All right. The other thing but the main thing is when you go from a longer dated option to a shorter dated option. In other words, when you go from months to weeks and then from weeks to days, it's a huge income enhancer. So to compare it so you have to find a way to make apples to apples comparisons, which is what all my videos do. People have said before they love my videos, how to retiring on $500,000 or something. Maybe I just need to make this Victoria video retiring on $500,000, but show the same three funds and just kind of show how you do it. That's probably what I need to do. So I'm not trying to rag. It's actually Victoria's probably best video. And actually, for beginner option people, she explains it really well. She's really good. So anyway, all right. Well, she has better graphics than I do. But the thing that, and a lot of people miss this, a lot of people that haven't traded options, they don't know how to deal with the shorter time frame. The being able to do it every day compared to once a week or once a month makes a big difference. It makes a giant difference. So anyway, what's Collector's talking about here? You've thought about starting a position. Yeah. They're great funds. I mean, they're they get tons of upside all day. Let's look at something here. I mean, let me show that in case I don't. I'm trying to get some referrals here. My affiliate business isn't going very well. I keep reading all these things about how to make your YouTube channel better, and they say, "Oh, it's easy. You do A, B, and C, gets affiliate links, blah 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 blah." Anyway, nothing's easy. It's just all hard work, right? But this is a great service. They give you a free week, or a trial, free trial. I really like those guys. All right. Yes. Now let's look at GPIQ and GPIX. So let's just say a guy wanted to do GPIX. Let's compare maybe GPIX. Sorry, my browser's going slow. No. GPIX. Is it raining? Yeah. Yeah, it's raining. All right. Well, let's compare that one, GPIX, with just compare with SPY for starters. And you can see during the pullback, it beat SPY, which is good. Let's compare GPIX with WDTE from Defiance. Oops, and you can see, and we'd expect that, WDTE beat GPIX. Just because it sells options more frequently, it's more efficient at generating yield, but it's also more efficient at capping upside, so we have to factor all that out. Now let's check GPIX against JEPQ. GPIX protected your money on the downside than JEPQ, but now let's go back further than a year. Let's go back. Let's do GPIX and JEPQ back a year or so. And actually, JEPQ, it looks like leading the whole way, and right at the end, it's pretty much even. Boy, it rained just enough to make it hot and it's muggy, and it's already quit. Now, GPIX or either of them could be there's so many good funds out there. I don't know. I mean, Bali's a good fund. There's not, or it was last time I checked. There's so many of these funds out there. I think that's from BlackRock, I've said that before and it was wrong, and somebody corrected me. It was embarrassing. It's actually Bali's from Morgan Stanley. It was whatever it was. Forget what I said. It's not from any. You guys going to watch the Kentucky Derby this weekend? I'm going to watch the Derby this weekend. Hey, anyway, Mark, yeah, take care. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. So Mark agrees with me. He's going to touch the 200 and drop. Sorry you got to go, Mark. I say more power to you on GPIQ and GPIX. Let's compare those, though. Let's compare like a GPIX to maybe like a YSPY. And the new one with a little bit of leverage. Now, it hasn't been around that long, but I want to see. I'm trying to want YSPY to have been around long enough for me to. YSPY got here April 3rd. It didn't get here April 3rd. What the heck? It's been here longer than that. I have it in my portfolio right there, YSPY. I didn't type the wrong thing. It's been around for, let's do it like this, YSPY. I really can't wait to see how these ones with leverage do. Well, I don't know. I think this thing's jacked up. If you look at Y-Spy here, this is that trade vision that I like so much. Yeah, so Y-Spy's been around since March, February 26th. But it's leveraged and it was a bad market, so I can't imagine it did well. I would expect it to do worse on the way down. Then I would expect it to underperform, definitely underperform something like triple QY, because the leverage kind of works against you. All right, guys, well, I'm going to get out of here and take Jax to the park or something. I need to get that freaking video done. I've been trying to do it for a week, and it seems I have an idea in my head for a video, and I just cannot. And once I actually put it down, it just never works out. It may be a great time to quit because these may be my yard guys. No, surely not. They're my neighbor's yard guy, though. Wow. What are the odds of that? Well, you guys have a good day. Thanks for being here, Collector. Thanks for being here. All of you guys that are still here. I know there's 4 of you. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I will see you later.